see me? Can you point me in the right direction? Is there anybody there? Am I all alone in this big bad world? I don't think so. There's always someone, isn't there? Always someone hanging about. Hanging about. How are we all doing? Mandy, hello, yes. How are you doing? You alright? Steve, alright mate? Yep. We'll put the band together. Got a rep, haven't we? Rep the stream. Botrix has correctly joined the channel. I always like it when he correctly joins the channel rather than the half-wit Jeff who just turns up drunk halfway through and ruins everything. Got to keep an eye out for that today and see whether or not it's Jeff that's causing all the tech issues, the gremlins, the grumblings. He looks the kind, doesn't he? But yeah, it's a very, very nice evening tonight as well. Either's got nothing to do with it tonight as well. I went for my little wander just to the top of the road and back to get my extra steps in, and it was glorious, dark but glorious. Kirsty, how you doing? Casper, alright mate? Good evening. Yeah, Mandy, Steve, Bot and Casper and Kirsty are all in. Keeping the bot company. Or keeping an eye on the bot anyway. Goedenavond, Hadwig. Hoe gaat het? Yep, all good. Happy days. It's always nice seeing the same faces pop up all the time. I'm very, very privileged to be part of this community, and I do not take it for granted one bit. Goedendag, yeah, I've seen some of the pictures earlier on. Pumpkin carving, good to see. YouTube's been playing up on the lives today. It's been playing up for the last couple of days on a few people's lives, funnily enough. I don't know why. But, you know, I don't know, maybe YouTube are pushing back on the fact that we all started kicking off about Sniper Wolf and they've had to get rid of her. So their money will be down and they don't like that, do they? My day so far has been good. Apart from the fact that it's just, where's the weekend gone? I had to get up early on Friday. So Friday ended up being a long day, which meant I had a lie-in on Saturday. But I was still shattered. So I had a lie-in today as well, which should make it a lot better for me. I should be feeling good. Not tired or anything. But it's not just, I know lying in bed listening to audio books makes the day go a bit quicker. But even so, just sitting on the sofa, drinking lemsips or cups of tea, and it's just all of a sudden, you blink and it's like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it's gone absolutely nowhere. It goes so fast. And with Steve Hughes on this, the Australian comedian, they've got it the wrong way round. It shouldn't be 5 days of work and 2 days off. It should be 2 days of work and 5 days off. If everyone had 2 days work, everyone would do as much as they could. They'd work really hard because you knew you've got 5 days off. And then your first day, what's the next day? It's the last day. You get wired right into it, wouldn't you? So I wouldn't mind that. And on those 5 days, we'll be able to create, we'll be able to write, create music, write poetry, rather than to be too tired to do anything. 'Cause at the moment, all I seem to do is, of the weekend, there's a few lifts that I need, give Jess a lift here and everywhere, and then make sure I've got diesel for the rest of the week coming forward. Because I'll be driving again all week. I've got to take my sister to her medical appointments all the next week, early in the morning. Well, early for me, you've got to leave here at 7:20. So I don't want to be running around like a dickhead trying to get diesel at that time of the morning. But that's about it. My weekends, I don't do much and they still seem to fly by. Anyone else having problems with the buffering? Right, you do 4 times 9 hours, can't work more than 36 hours a week when you work in healthcare. 36 hours per week is full time here. I work 37 hours a week, 5 days. So it's the same thing really, isn't it? 37 compared to 36. But yeah, I think 36, 37 hours a week is more than enough for anyone. I don't get a lot of especially the American culture of working yourself into the ground. American and Japanese cultures especially. The idea that the harder you work, the better off you are. It doesn't work that way at all. The harder you work, the better your boss is. That's why Jeff Bezos is absolutely minted, because Amazon workers have to wear nappies when they're on the lines, assembly lines, whatever it is. It's ridiculous. You don't have to work that hard. There's got to be a balance between work and actually enjoying your life. Yeah, work to live, don't live to work. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have it that way round. They just seem to think that that's their only goal in life. In fact, I was watching one of these murder things, which I watch all the time during the day, weekdays during the day. This fella, he was a really, really good dad because he worked like 80 hours a week. Never saw his kids, but he provided loads of money for them and his wife. That's no life. That's not being a good dad. That's just being a cash point for the rest of them. An idiot. Anyway, they ended up killing him. Obviously, couldn't give a shit about him. Great result today, Steve. Yep, absolutely superb, mate. We needed that badly. And delighted for Calvert-Lewin as well, because he's had some absolutely horrific injuries. Every time he's looked like coming back, they've got him back too early, and he's exploded again. So hopefully he stays fit. If he stays fit, we'll do all right. No buffering. Should have been at Spanner's gig. That was more buffering than not. All right. But that in itself says that there must be an issue with YouTube and buffering. So, yeah. I just called him Spenner, which I shouldn't do. My mate Spencer, he was a lead singer in a band when I was younger. A good mate from when I was a young, well, I don't know, about 14, 15-year-old, I think I probably was. His nickname was always Spenner. I never used to call him Spencer. So when I see that name, I automatically, in my mind, say Spenner. But it's not, it's Spencer. I do apologise. You only caught the tail end of the gig, Kirsty. You missed out on all the buffering. Even Kev's one as well. Kev's live cocked up, didn't it? Don't know if that was his computer or the buffering that's been going on, but Steve's right. There's a few people that seem to have an issue or two lately. I don't know what's causing it. But yeah. Autocorrect. How do we keep fell asleep before his gig began? I'm not surprised. We had a long, hard week. And it was on fairly late, wasn't it? That's the problem when we're having to deal with the time zones. I mean, there's 6 hours between the Netherlands and Maryland, North Carolina, which is an absolute pain in the arse, but that's where we are, I suppose. And I'm sure Spencer appreciates the fact that people try and make the effort to be there for him. So I hope he feels that support. If people can go, they will do. Yeah, after 23 hours, no one's any good anymore. Definitely not. Oh, Kirsty, Taylor Swift. You have my deepest sympathies. We don't need any of that. Unless you want a suit making very, very quickly. That's the only time you need to speak to Taylor Swift. No, not my scene, man. Yeah, it is. There's the different shift patterns and times is difficult. I know I had a mate who worked permanent nights, and he did that for a long, long time, like 15, 20 years. And then the shifts changed at work. They weren't open overnight anymore. They weren't manufacturing. So then he ended up having to do days, and it took him years to get over it. And even then, he's still not 100%. Oh, you're watching the football video today. Nigel Martin's son in the chat. Nigel Martin, oh, one of the best goalkeepers we had after Southall, and we could have signed him ages before. But Peter Johnson, the knobhead of a chairman that we had, decided to get him to go to Birkenhead to the Park Hampers factory instead of taking him to Goodison or Belfield as it was back then as well. So we ended up going to Leeds instead, and we got him 3 or 4 years later, but we missed out on having a great goalkeeper. I like him though. Yeah, football lives with chat. It's definitely difficult. There's no way on this earth I would do a football video as a Premier or as a live, unless it was just Everton and it was just advertised pretty much to me Everton Twitter. I've got like just under 3,000 followers on Twitter or X, and the vast majority of them are Everton fans. So we are part of a huge community. If I was going to do something like that, I'd do it with them, but not just out there with anyone. Yep. Kirsty throwing a bit of Nightwish to drown the Swifty. Alright, so his son Thomas is Embrace the Suck 21 sub. Good lad. Tommy Martin. Yeah, Tommy Martin, of course, a very, very famous St Helens rugby player. Ajax lost 5-2 in PSV. They're now at the bottom of the Eredivisie. It's horrible seeing Ajax down there as far as they are. Teams that big shouldn't be down there. But in other news, had a week, FC Twente beat Feyenoord. So we're doing pretty well. Where are we? 3rd or 4th in the table at the moment. But yeah. It's been a good day actually. In fact, it's been a fairly good weekend. I didn't see the Middlesbrough results, but I know Wrexham won, didn't he? So a good win for Wrexham, Everton, FC Twente. I think Borough were winning last time I saw. I don't know how Tranmere got on, but you never know. Fingers crossed. It's not very often, and it hasn't been very often in the last so many years, that Everton and FC Twente win at the same weekend. Doesn't happen. Yeah, football bad enough watching the first time. It wasn't that bad today actually, made a change. Although England got beaten in the cricket. So I think that means they're out now, aren't they? FC Twente's 3rd, PSV and AZ, Feyenoord in 4th. Yep, we'll settle for that. They can stop the season now, I'm happy with that. In fact, if they stop the season now, Everton don't get relegated either. Mind you, they will do, won't they? Because the Premier League are trying to make a huge deal of us. We've got one charge over our head, a financial fair play charge, despite the fact that we worked with the Premier League and explained everything that was going on. Apparently everything was alright. And then Leeds and Leicester and someone else complained because they got relegated. And now they're trying to give us a 12-point deduction. Man City, on the other hand, have 115 charges outstanding against them, and nobody's saying a word about them. So Man City, of course, could probably afford to get deducted 12 points, still get into the Champions League. We can't. We can't afford to get any of them points taken off us, unfortunately. Couldn't drown out the Swifty. That's a shame. I've been listening to Dave Grohl, his autobiography, Storyteller. I meant to buy the book, but never got round to it, and then it appeared on Spotify on their audiobook section. So it's been nice just having a bit of a drive with Dave, talking about his life. Very, very interesting. Worth a listen to if you like him. I just got to the point where Kurt Cobain was chewing lead, and yeah, must have been horrible for everyone involved in Nirvana, having to put up with that. Not only losing your mate, but then also wondering where the hell do you go next from there. How can you go from being in one of the biggest bands in the world to suddenly being unemployed? Even though you've got a name, it must be horrific. And he said he felt a little bit guilty. This is my first cup of coffee without him. This is this is that. Yeah, there must be that kind of thing that sticks with you, that little bit of guilt. Not survivor guilt as much as just, it's never going to be the same ever again. The 3 games, you've gone from 8th to 17th. Never seen that, Steve. I haven't really seen much of the Championship the last few weeks for some strange reason. I normally watch the highlights on ITV4, and I've missed all that. Bizarre. Kev, now then, how you doing, mate? You alright? Yeah, not seen that at all. I'll have to start watching that again, or even record it for times when I can't find anything to watch at all. I can watch all the highlights. I should do. Not the same, no. It's not the same since they got rid of it. It was on Quest, wasn't it, with Colin Murray. I thought he was brilliant on there, and all of a sudden gone to ITV, and it's just the highlights are shite. It was even better when it was on BBC, and Manish Basin used to host it. No adverts, a little bit of talking and straight into it. Man, you had Steve Claridge on there as well, didn't he? He was a bit of a dick. But, can't have everything, can we? I did not see that Kurt Cobain's daughter married Tony Hawk's son. There's no pressure involved in that relationship, is there? That's got to be right up there, that with, is it Sergio Aguero's son? His granddad was Diego Maradona, and his godfather is Lionel Messi. Not only Sergio Aguero being your dad, but that's a lot to live up to in that family. Probably end up not playing football, just too much pressure for him. Same as myself, obviously. Coming from a football family, there was too much pressure. I had to pick up my Les Paul instead. Well, my Les Paul copy, I couldn't afford a proper Les Paul, unfortunately. I wish I'd never got rid of that guitar. 50 quid from a second-hand shop in Runcorn. No name on it. But it was fantastic. Used to weigh a bastard ton as well. You could hit the power cord on it and come back 3 days later, and it was still vibrating. Yeah, I missed that one earlier on, Kev. I've been in and out a bit today. Fran the Google man. Nigel Martin's son, yeah, it's just been mentioned. Fantastic keeper, Nigel Martin. The best one we had since Big Nev, the bin man. The greatest of all time. Never seen a keeper better. Schmeichel was the closest I think I've seen in the English game. But Southall, man, what an absolute don he was. The one, the only, the greatest, the bin man. Peter Reid always refers to him as the goalkeeper. That's it. Not even by his name, just the goalkeeper. Perfect. Appears so, doesn't it, Steve? Appears so. Just got a death scare when you felt someone touching it. Was that someone or something? Had to be. Wasn't a cat or something, was it? That's what you need. That's the only problem with having lives, especially if you're on a big channel, I suppose, is that anyone can just jump in and then. Oh, and by the way, speaking of big channels and things, I was watching Harris Heller doing a live stream the other day because Twitch stopped people from simulcasting. You couldn't live stream to Twitch, YouTube, Kick at the same time. They wouldn't allow it. Now you are allowed to, so we had a live stream with the fella, and he was using bot tricks. This genius of a tech wizard, Harris Heller, was using bot tricks and was struggling a little bit to use it as well. So it's not just us. It is difficult, but it was crazy seeing his screen looking the same as mine. Bizarre. Apart from the fact that obviously he's got like tens of thousands of pounds worth of equipment. most of which he hasn't had to pay for, obviously. Draakje sniffed you. Little dragon, Draakje. Jeff did not appear, but he did. And I was thinking this, I was looking around for people to send messages to over it, but I thought no one would be watching. He couldn't get, he had Kick. In fact, he was on Twitch, and I was watching him on YouTube. He got the Kick chat, and he couldn't get the YouTube to join in with it. So Jeff was there, sort of in the background, pissing around with stuff. In the end, he went to Restream to try and use their combined chat tool, and when they did, it renamed his stream, Restream something. So he was pissed off with that, very annoyed. He says he's never using that again, even though it was the unpaid free version. Not using that again. So he wasn't happy. But I think at some point he's also a bit of a developer, isn't he? So I think he's going to end up working with YouTube and Twitch and what have you to try and build a proper a combined chat, even though Twitch don't want that. Because apparently what would happen, and what seems to have happened, is if you get banned off Twitch, people have a tendency to run to Kick and then see if they can jump in on a Twitch stream as well. And some of the language and some of the subject matter is not good. Kick apparently is not well moderated, and it's full of racial slurs and horrible language. So of course they do sponsor Everton's sleeve, don't they? It would have to be. We'd have to get ourselves involved in someone like that. But one of these days I think I might try and do a multi-stream, because no one follows me on Twitch, but why not if I can stream on there as well? Yeah, mention Jeff and the bot pops up. Nigel Martin's son is a wannabe opera singer. What? How does that work? I mean, I know my dad was a footballer and I went on to become a mild-mannered civil servant, but opera singer? Where did he learn that? Is his mum an opera singer or something? That's a very, very specific route to take. Very odd, very odd. But yeah, mention Jeff and he does. Gotta watch Jeff, man, he's dodgy. He is well dodgy. Don't trust him one bit. Maybe that's what everyone who's used Botrix, it was alright until Jeff got involved, and now everyone's having all kinds of issues with it. It's because of him. Coming over here, causing kerfuffles. Oh, no, yeah, talk about the devil and you step on his tail. What button can you push? No, man, don't be pushing buttons. We know how these things end. I pushed buttons last week. I think I got away with it. Don't mention the buttons. We don't need that. I've got more buttons as well. I've added a few little extras. Stream Deck. Worth every penny. And of course, being a dickhead, I've ended up with 2 of them now. I bought the small one with the 15 buttons, and obviously straight away within the space of about 2 weeks I thought, yes, I need the full XL version. So I've got a Stream Deck XL, which means I've now got 3 laptops, 2 Stream Decks, 4 or 5 different lights, 4 bleeding microphones, what else? It's ridiculous, the amount of stuff I've got in the house. I shouldn't have this much stuff. Cameras, webcams, everywhere. Stupid. But it was all money that I would have spent on wine, killing myself. So I look at it that way. I might have gear acquisition syndrome, but I'm not going to be carted out of here on a stretcher again, I don't think. He's quite going to be singing at Goodison before the game. Oof. But he's going to have to hurry up because we're not going to be there much longer. The new stadium should be built before the end of 2024. And I think we'll be moving in for the 25-26 season. Fingers crossed. Kev leveled up, happy days. Yes, how do we put more likes than people in the chat? That is usually the case because I have multiple channels, alts, and I always try and make sure that I throw a like on from every alt because it pushes things with the algorithm. Not necessarily a good thing to do, but it doesn't stop you doing it. You can also like your own stream, so I do that as well. Every time I reply to a comment, I also like and thumbs up my own reply, which is, I don't know, is that a horrible thing to do, but it helps with the algorithm, it always helps. Yeah, Kev, I was watching your stream last night when that happened, and then I had something in the queue from earlier on, and it just jumped me straight into a different video, and it confused the life out of me. So I kept looking to see if you'd started another one, but nothing popped up. Yep. Got to rep the squad, haven't I, in the stream. Pushing buttons never helps, never works. Does it? Shame. No. Never good. Merch has been mentioned yet again. So I've asked my daughter and her boyfriend to start thinking about what kind of stuff people would even consider buying if there was anything. And if they come up with something, maybe I'll push it forward. I did buy me and her hoodies. Unfortunately, they're matching ones, so we can't wear them at the same time. Otherwise, we're going to end up looking like an absolute pair of twats. But that's for the podcast stuff. Yes, Röde. If you didn't have the little line in it, it would also mean red in Dutch. And obviously I don't do red really, do I? And of course I've got a Rode arm, which hasn't got a Rode mic on it. It's got a Shure mic on it instead. Which if anyone's looking for an XLR mic, rather than the Shure SM7B, which is about 400 quid, 99 quid, works just as well. Angela for the bit. Is Rippin still in it? The Rippinator. The Yorkshire Rippin. And I'm presuming, Kirsty, you are sliding. Shockingly, backpack stuff provided batches October. That could also be a critique of merch, I suppose, couldn't it? We haven't got long left in October, have we? Which means it's then November, which means it's then bleeding Christmas. Oh, Jess, I know you're not watching, but if you were, what do you want for Christmas? It's going to have to be done quick. I think she wants more guitar stuff. I don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. I've gone from years ago buying, you just throw the Argos catalogue at her, go and circle what you want with a Sharpie, to then you're only getting 2 or 3 things, but they're all going to cost an absolute fortune each, and they're going to be very, very loud. Slidey for the level up, yep. Lots of sliding. I'm going to have to find out what my mate used to do with his. 40, he's brilliant at sliding. I don't know how he managed to do it, whether he had to learn something, whether he went to university for it. How long's that on for as well, by the way, strictly? It seems to have been on already for about the last 6 months. Is it on until the next one starts? Bizarre. Is there anything good on these days? We're watching less and less TV, unless it's repeats. I did watch last night on Netflix, there's a 3-part little documentary about John Gotti, which was part of the reason why the thumbnail for this looks the way it does, because it was all New York skylines and 1980s graphics, and I thought, oh, that looks good. I'm stealing that, like the content thief that I am. Yeah. So it was Great to watch. Only 3 episodes, and each one's 45 minutes long, but it's fascinating. It's funny as well. When you hear them, they're getting eavesdropped. People have gone in there and bugged the places that they were working and living in. And you hear them talking, and it does sound just like the films. They sound like a cartoon. It's ridiculous. Everyone's a fucking fuck, you fucking fuck. Really. Rude is often a sweet nickname for gingers. Yep. That I get completely. Doctor Who, November the 25th. Right, well, I'll avoid that like the plague because it's not my kind of thing, to be honest. Christmas, well, not even Christmas mornings because when she was younger, me and my ex-wife used to have one year she'd stay in mine and 1 year she'd stay in her mum's. Since she started getting a little bit older, I've always thought, better wake up with your mum and then I'll pick you up later on and you come to mine. So, yeah, we only open air presents in the afternoon when she comes and sees me. And apart from that, we don't buy each other presents anymore in the house. The kids, I mean, nephew's 22, my niece is 19, and my daughter's 17. They're not kids anymore. And everyone else, all the adults, we've got everything that we need. If we want anything, we'll go out and buy it. So it's just spending money for no reason. So we'll make sure that the kids, as they were, will get looked after, but we don't need to start doing anything else. Just make sure that we eat and drink loads. Well, not that I didn't drink loads last year, did I really? November, oh yeah, November's coming up, which means I would have done a full 12 months without any alcohol. The third series of Afterlife. I couldn't get through the first episode of Afterlife the first time round. Just I couldn't deal with it. And then I went back a couple of months later and I watched the first series all the way through. And it wasn't long. I think the second series then got released and I watched that as soon as it came out. Brilliant. And I watched the third as well. Superb. I know Ricky Gervais is not to everyone's liking. He's a bit Marmite, but absolutely superb. And he's not afraid to tackle some of the subjects that are difficult. So, fair play. Have a go. There was Christmas films on today. Have you seen Sky, Kev? The channels. There's Christmas channels that have been on there for a month already, at least. It's ridiculous. Yeah, man, there you go. Christmas channel. Been on there for ages. Some strange stuff. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the 2 Christmas days do work well. I'm so used to it now that I just wake up whatever time I feel like on Christmas Day. It's no big deal. It's just another day until my daughter comes round, at which point it's a bit more interesting. But even at the age of 17, I mean, this Christmas will be I don't even know. She might just want to go out and go and see her boyfriend and what have you. Might not really want to spend too much time here. They're not kids anymore, are they? It is. Afterlife's a fantastic series. I don't mind things being a bit difficult. I'm the same with music though, like I've said before. I like watching things or listening to things that make me think. Might not necessarily be the easiest things to deal with, but it's nice. I think that's how you learn. Train your brain by trying to deal with stuff that you're not really used to. So there we go. Ugh. The eyes watering. I've been sneezing as well for the last 3 or 4 days, non-stop. Horrible. Casper usually alone on the 25th. We'll make sure that we'll stay in contact on that day for you, mate. Not good being on your own on Christmas Day. I know a lot of people, I've got mates who don't really care about it, but you always try and send them a text just to make sure that they're alright. Good shows make you feel things, yeah. That's what they should do as well. All art like that, whether it's film, TV, music, writing, poetry, anything like that. If it's done well, it can make you think. It can make you look at your viewpoint on life. If you get that from a comedy series, all the better, because it's supposed to just make you laugh. But if you watch things like The Royal Family, there's the sour that goes with the sweet, and I like that balance that they used to get all the time. I mean, when the Nana died, I was in bleeding floods of tears, sitting on the sofa watching that the first time it was on, because you're so invested in the family and the characters that when you do deal with a sort of death in the family, it's wow, they've done this really well. Early Doors was the same, so I like stuff like that. Thought provoking's always good. Unfortunately, there will be an entire subsection of people that don't want any thought involved at all, so they will watch stuff that's just utter shite. And I suppose at times you do need something just to take your mind off things, so it can be utter rubbish. But the more and more it goes on, the worse your brain becomes. You need to have something that feeds you slightly. Yeah, the third series, he sat in the bath. That's fantastic, that. Yeah, Matthew Perry, it's a shame that. Was he 54? I know he had his struggles, didn't he, with addiction and what have you. Seemed to have got through that and then ended up doing that. Dying of a completely different reason. It's a shame that. Just the sound of Ricky Tomlinson makes you angry, even the chip ads. What's wrong, la? He's alright. He's alright, that Rick. Perfectly cast as the dad in that show. Ricky Tomola. That cast was absolutely superb in The Royal Family. They absolutely nailed it. Same as Early Doors, which again was written by Craig Cash and Phil Mealy, who both wrote or co-wrote The Royal Family. Early Doors I thought was even better. Because it was set in a pub, it was something that I didn't even see it as a comedy series at the time. It was just like a documentary. It was exactly the same as the pub that we had, to the point where the miserable old bastard was called Tommy, and the miserable old bastard in our pub was called Tommy. Mandy has her reasons. Yeah. Tortured soul. Yeah, that's unfortunately people who want to become famous. There's a huge other side to that. That often gets overlooked. If you want to be famous, you need to take into account that it will completely turn your life upside down. Tomorrow's Ed surgery. Oh, to make sure we send our Lizzie a message, bit of support. Hopefully everything goes all right. Yeah, well done, Kirsty. Level 9. Jeez. We're doing all right here, aren't we? It's saying you level up to level 9. I've got you at level 10 on here. On Botrix. Botrix is having one of them days again, isn't it? Yeah, fingers crossed, thumbs held, and whatever else people say around the world. Yeah, we haven't seen Lizzie for a while. I think she's obviously she's got all this going on in the background, so probably doesn't really want any of the frivolity that we have on RDA and on the streams, but to make sure we send her a little message showing our support and hoping everything goes all right. She has missed, didn't she, from the community? I think everyone is, when they can't take part in it as often as possible. It's the one thing I do like, I must admit, when everyone sort of looks out for each other. You don't get that too often these days. You certainly don't get it with in work anymore. Well, I'm lucky. The people I work with and the people I've been working with for a long time all look after each other. But in loads of other work environments, it's your own little 2 or 3 people, and that's it. I always loved we had the top 2 floors of a building, and everybody, instead of a load of Christmas nights out, everyone going for separate meals, we just used to book a local pub, and everybody, the whole 2 floors, used to go out together. Love that. Mandy's got bot sussed well and truly. How do we? You spoke to her on Wednesday. All right. Well, yeah, when she's stressed, she withdraws. Yeah, completely understandable. I think a lot of people are like that. I am as well. Rather than try and talk through it, sometimes I'll go and sit in the corner and try and deal with it myself. Not always good, but I suppose that's how we deal with it at times. And of course, we don't want to push it too much. Nothing worse than when you really want a little bit of quiet time, so have everyone absolutely bombarding you. But let's all send us these positive vibes, peace and vibes. These are the vibes that I talk about. The good luck, the positivity. That hopefully everything goes all right. Make your cosmic vibrations powerful and well intended. Should be fine. Should be fine. Yep. That's it. Send her love and strength every now and then. Let her know we think about it, which we do. As I say, we're really good as a community in looking after each other, so it is nice when people reach out as well. Are you okay? How's things? You don't have to get involved in a huge conversation and be texting for 3 or 4 hours or anything like that. Just as long as someone says that you're all right, it's very nice. We'll have to make sure we do that. And hopefully she'll be back on here, kicking off soon. We missed that. How's the stream going? Is everything all right? No more buffering, or is it okay? You never know. If Jeff's in the building, there could be absolute bedlam. In fact, there he is. He's an evil-looking sod, isn't he? Don't trust him one bit. Oh, here we go. More snaps from the past. Paris 89 getting the rave on. He looks ripped there, doesn't he? London, £11 a pint. Yeah. London prices. Sydney 2003. It's Keanu Curtains period. Rocking that there, though. Has to be said. Fair play, Jeff. That must have been before the kids. He's right about that 11 quid a pint though in London. Not good. Although, not everywhere you go is that expensive. Having been to London on several occasions, whether it was for football or for work and what have you, if you just go and sneak down some back alleys, in Ripper country, you'll find pubs that are no more expensive than, I don't know, some of the places up north in the middle of city centres, so it's alright. No buffering, aye. There's nothing buff about me. The hunter's moon, yeah. Full moon makes hunting easier at night with a full... Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's surprising just how bright that moon is. Well, it's not out there at the moment. I think it's over there normally, isn't it? Anyway, don't know why I'm doing that. You've got no idea which direction I'm pointing in. But there you go. It looks like it's raining as well, so it'll be cloudy, so the moon will be hidden, unfortunately. I did get some good pics last week of the moonbow. There's been a few of them this week, where it's like a rainbow, but there's moisture in the air, and it's the light from the moon rather than light from the sun. There you go, Kirsty. The pub near you, the pints are around £5 to £7. That's not bad at all. I don't even know how much they are where we are. Or the last time I was out in Liverpool, I think they were less than £3 a pint. But they're probably you go in places in town in Liverpool and you'll be paying a tenner a pint. So there's no big difference really. It just depends on what kind of gaff you're going into. Everywhere you go, someone's trying to rip you off. £5 to £7 in London. Yeah, I'd settle for that. No doubt, especially around Camden, there'll be places near Camden Lock which will be double or treble there. But that's just to be expected. Whenever you go where the tourists are, it'll be far too much. But there you go. Lots of hunting and poaching here at night. I actually put light boxes to lure wildlife in so that you can shoot them from the seat. That isn't even hunting, isn't it really? That's ridiculous. Luring in wildlife. Bastards. Don't get the idea. I don't get what people gain from hunting. I can understand if, like I've said before on one of these streams about Scotland, they had a problem with red deer. So they now will charge people to go and hunt red deer because they have to be culled anyway. And any money that they make from it goes into trying to fix the problems that they've got there. But I don't get why you'd feel those lunatics that go to Africa to shoot giraffes and lions and things. What do you get from that? Why does it make you feel good? And if your dick's really that small, go and buy a sports car. Steve, you had to delete your IG account today. 6,000 likes and death threats from Mother Russia. Yeah, be careful. Don't mess around with them. The moon appears higher now as we get close to the winter solstice. That's not too far away, is it? 21st of December. The higher, the more direct the light enters through the atmosphere, and therefore it lights up more, yeah. You don't get what people gain from killing those animals, except for mosquitoes, obviously. Yeah, it's the ones who take pictures of it next to a dead lion, as if to say, oh, look what I've done. Why? What benefit is that to you? It doesn't show your power. It shows how powerful your gun was. It shows how much of an idiot you are. Gorgeous looking creatures. If you're charging someone to go and cull animals where there's a problem, that's a completely different thing. You're utilising that to manage, the local wildlife. But nah. Caspi don't want no sports car. Oh well, you have to go get the operation instead then, mate. I'm not surprised, Steve, it scared the hell out of you. You don't need any of that turning up at your front door, do you? You don't want no sports car either, do we? You can't fit 2 dogs and a hay bale in a sports car. No, not unless it's a spectacularly big sports car, which some of them are nowadays, aren't they? Some of them huge. But what's the Lamborghini one now? Is the Urus, is it? Yeah, Urus. I think it's like a 4x4 sports car. Handles like a sports car and is the size of a small truck. They're ridiculous. Yeah, sports car gets stuck on speed bumps. Some of them are so low, it's ridiculous. And there's nothing you can do if you're stuck between two of them. Is my new wall hanging fairy? No. It's not fairy, it's canvasy. Thought I had to, didn't I? I've got the mountains up there, so I need some samurai shit as well. I put Sharon. That's Sharon, by the way, that plant. That's actually got a name tag in, Sharon. I put her on the window ledge because she was starting to look a little bit dodgy. The peace lily will have to go on there tomorrow, and I'll just swap them in and out because they're not supposed to have too much direct sunlight. But otherwise, I think they're not going to be here for much longer, I don't think. which is a shame. I might have to get plastic ones instead, which, knowing me, I'll probably kill them as well. I don't have a fairy. You need to watch out with those fairies as well. Those, I mean, obviously I've got Kippers and Horace, but I'm not into all the fairy scene at all. I like the new wall hanging though. Looks like the velour ones. You know that. Barnes here. If you kill a lion with a spear or a big knife, fair enough. If you shot one from a mile away with a 50 caliber, what did he? Not a sniper's rifle. What did he call them? I should know this. I played Call of Duty for so long. Yeah, a 50 cal. One of those things that if you shoot a tank with it, the tank explodes. The massive. That apparently is, yeah, that makes you dead tough shooting someone like that. Why did fairy make you think of the fetish? Yep, because that's the first thing I think of as well, and possibly because I think I've seen some documentary and I can't remember who it was. I'm not sure it was Louis Theroux or not, but it was someone like that who met with the fairy community, and it scared the life out of me. Yes, Harry, Furbies and fairies are two completely different things. Furbies are those cute little teddy doll things, whatever. Fairies are people that dress up as teddy bears, and it's a very sexualised community. Very, very dodgy. They have conventions, fairy conventions, where everyone's just banging each other's brains out while dressed as their favourite teddy bear or animal or something. It is bizarre. But it takes all sorts, I suppose. Different strokes to rule the world or move the world, wherever it was. That's one from the past, isn't it? Different bleeding strokes. How do I know about this? I had to have sex with a dog suit on very carefully. I know about all that because there was something on. I am trying to think what it was. Louis Theroux sounds viable. It was definitely on one of these things. A documentary about them. And you know, when you watch it and an hour later, you think, what on earth is wrong with these people? I know, you know, it's people have their own individual things that, you know, whatever tickles your pickle, I think the phrase is, but watching that, just I thought, what on earth is going on? I can't be living in a completely different world to these people. I thought I was pretty well read and well experienced, and then, no, because I've not come across this in my career as a human being so far. Oh, it just buffered a bit for you as well. Don't want any of this buffering going on, man. It's got to be okay. No buffering, man. No buffering. Can't have it. Anyway, sod it. Let's have a look.
Kippers kicks ass.
Has it stopped? Has it stopped? CCTV. Man detonates teddy bear in California car park then drives away. No explanation has been given for the bizarre actions of the suspect, but luckily no one was injured in the blast. Teddies assemble. I think Kippers is not happy. I think he wants them to all get together and knock the shite out of that particular person.
Kippers kicks ass.
It's a bit perfectly timed, wasn't it? Really talking about furries, and then Kippers is kicking ass and wants teddies to assemble. Has Jeff struck again, has he? I can't hear anything you say, so I don't know. Is it still going on? Is it still on repeat? Wouldn't surprise me. Mark Wahlberg, he's a bit odd. Not as odd as his brother, Donny. Was it Donny Wahlberg? New Kids on the Block. I was watching Top of the Pops, wherever it was, 90 something or 89, wherever it was they were on. When they were singing Hanging Tough, and you look at them thinking, you've got no idea what tough is, mate. Imagine doing that in a inner city comprehensive school in England in the 80s. They'd have got absolutely annihilated. Band of Brothers. Never seen that, you know. Yeah, never watched Euro Trash. I think it wasn't Euro Trash it was on, but it was definitely on something. I want to find out where it was, because I haven't just been like watching or trying to find fairy stuff. It was on terrestrial TV, like a Channel 4 documentary or a BBC or something. Alternative lifestyles. This is what some people do. In fact, wasn't the one as well on Channel 4 or Channel 5? The fellas who buy the real dolls. Oh man, that was grim. Spending thousands on these dolls that look as realistic as possible, driving them round town in your car with you. Bizarre. Putting bits of them in the dishwasher. What? You know, those real dolls, one of the fellas was using the shower head to clean one of them out. It's as grim as English TV ever gets. Again, never seen Band of Brothers. I tend to have a problem with TV shows that everyone's watching. You know, when people try and say to you, watch this, it's great. No, I don't like to be told what to watch. Or this is like the flavour of the month. So I don't watch stuff like that. I did the same with Breaking Bad. But I'd done my knee playing football. So I had to go on the treadmill in the house of a night, and I'd do like a 40-minute run. And it was perfect watching Breaking Bad. Every run I had to do was just one episode, and I managed to get through. Sometimes I do 2 episodes, I go for an extra long run. And I'd do that constantly for months until I was healed. And by that point I'd gone into Breaking Bad that much, but also it was that much later than anyone else had watched it. So there was no spoilers, no one was talking about it. Yes, Casper, it was a horrific documentary. It was vile. Disgusting. Louise, how are you doing? BBC 3. Yeah. It sounds like a BBC 3, Channel 4, Channel 5 kind of thing, doesn't it? Some random stuff. In prison, you once saw a one-legged 50-year-old washing his flashlight in the communal sink. Eesh, man. Ugh, yeah. I don't even know where you start with that. At least it was only in the sink, it wasn't in the dishwasher. Yeah, wait till robots cross the uncanny valley. There's a lot to look forward to, isn't there, in this modern world that we're in? No. I think I'd rather die alone than start getting involved in that kind of stuff. Yeah, at least he was trying to be hygienic. Well, your internet nope did it, man. Yeah, at least fair play. If you're looking for positives, the silver lining to that particularly murky cloud was at least he was trying to be hygienic. Although he could have done with some, flash wipes or something. Wasn't using the scrubber, was he? I have to be careful doing that, really, don't I? For doing the pots and pans, you don't want to be cleaning up after yourself after he's been there. I think I'll be pouring boiling water over absolutely every utensil in that place. A one-legged 50-year-old. There's a lot going in that particular sentence, isn't there? I like that. Yeah, those dollars we used in the stadium. Yeah, I seem to remember that as well. Yeah. It's bizarre going around on camera and you can see so many real people, and then all of a sudden there's just something in the middle of it that doesn't look right. Yeah, it might not have been his flashlight. It could have been his prosthetic leg. Jeff's redecorated the basement again. Or has someone forgot to change the line? I don't know. He was done for murder. And they have a toy cleaner for those special kind of toys, do they? It's a very, very niche product, a niche market to get into, but I'm supposed to be people that are making a fortune out of that. How do you go about speaking to the bank manager about a loan to start that company? Can you show me a business plan? Well, the world's full of mucky pups. Jeff's playing with Mandy's Wi-Fi. He might well be. Once you put Jeff out into the open, out there into the ether, he goes and just works by his own rules. He is completely evil, despite the fact that he's trying to get us on side by showing us his happy snaps. You missed a bit, but it says this is from 21 hours ago. What? He's a unipod. One leg. I used to balance. They called him Clever Dick. The majority of the ladies will know. Yes, they will do. That's I think you'd need to, wouldn't you? If you want to utilise stuff like that, you need to know exactly what's going on. Not mucky pups, mucky rabbits. Yeah. Some very, very strange people out there. It makes me feel good about myself that I'm not quite as weird as them. You once fell asleep to him next to him watching the US midterms. The US midterms, is that the election or is that a euphemism for something? I don't think I'd want to be seeing any elections next to him. Yeah, bet you could outrun him. My mate lost his leg. He used to ring me up every Christmas and see how the family were doing. The lad I went to school with, he rang me up in January one year. Sorry I didn't ring you over Christmas. I lost my leg, and straight away I just went, fucking hell, what a game of cards that must have been. And he started laughing, and then I spent an hour making every one-legged joke I could think of. And at the end of it, he said, thanks for that. Everyone else that I've been speaking to has been scared to mention it. So they've been tiptoeing around the subject. So of course I went, yeah, apart from you, you've been tipping around, you can't toe anywhere. But he liked the fact that I was willing to make a joke about it because he was alive. He thought he was lucky because he wasn't dead. It was a drunk driver who hit him, and he had to have his leg amputated, but he at least managed to survive, so he saw that as a positive thing. Yeah, but so I've had plenty of conversations about his one leg over the years. Mandy the time traveller, that is what happens when Jeff plays with your Wi-Fi. You need to be very, very careful. Do not invite Jeff into your router, otherwise he will cause all kinds of murder, kerfuffles and rigmaroles. Here's a dodgy boiler. We don't need him. Don't even like mentioning his name. Right, so he spent 27 out of 50 years in jail. That's not just institutionalised. That's completely. It becomes your family, doesn't it? I've seen people, again, documentaries about people that were in for a long time. They couldn't deal with getting out. So you're a free man. I don't like it. I'd rather be back inside because I'm used to living there. It's bizarre. Don't even know what you do with that. Oh, and he got out this year as well. Jeez. You should have checked the lottery results while you were there, definitely. Then we could have paid for everyone to have an upgrade on their internet. I've won the lottery 3 weeks or 3 days in a row on the Euro Millions. Tuesday, Friday, whatever it was. Cost a fiver to put on. £3.80 1 week, £2.90 the next, £2.80 the next, whatever it was, something stupid like that. How the week the dogs don't realise that the clock shifted. Right, so they're going for your the night pee. Fair enough, fair play. Well, dogs wouldn't know, would they? They can't tell the time. Apart from when they're hungry, they know what time that is. When they need to pee, they need to pee. There's no messing around. They know exactly when that is. Although again, I was watching more documentaries about. In fact, it was a Jim Al-Khalili thing on BBC on the iPlayer about animals, how they work out time. I can't even think what animal it was. It wasn't turtles. It was something that I had to take into account the movement of the sun to know where it was. Obviously, he hasn't got a. In fact, it wasn't Jamal Khalili. It was Professor Brian Cox. You can check what time it is if you got a watch by pointing the hour hand at the sun. Rather, you can tell which is north and stuff like that, so you can find your way around. But animals need to. They haven't got a clock to point towards the sun. They've got an internal clock that they need to know exactly what part of the day it is, so they can find the way by using the sun. It's bizarre. The whole of the animal kingdom is bizarre. Stuff like that. Jamal Khalili I watched the other night as well. That was about the smallest things, all atomic stuff and really tiny animals and stuff. And then the second episode was all about massive things. Fascinating. I like him. I like both of them actually. I like presenters who know the stuff inside out. And they got really, really enthusiastic about what they talk about as well. Them two are brilliant at it. Lucy Worsley, brilliant at all the history stuff. I used to like Neil Oliver on Coast until he turned into an absolute raving lunatic. I don't watch GB News because I've got more than one brain cell, but it just seems to have gone off on one on there. Letitia and Ricky fucking Lambert. Stop drinking lead paint, boys. The dogs know something that we don't. Dogs know loads of stuff that we don't. Yeah, Barnesy, you can't give them grief over the flashlight. If you've been inside for 27 years, you deserve that. Mind you, if you've been in, if you murdered people, you deserve 27 years as well. Yeah, a lot of deer and other animals get run over. Suddenly there's more cars on the road earlier. It would change completely, wouldn't it? What you're used to. The hairless primates are the weirdest by miles. We are indeed. We are very weird. But sometimes in a good way. When you think about all of those tens, maybe tens of millions of years, even longer, hundreds of millions of years, for things to evolve. And this is the best they can come up with, us. This is how far evolution's come. That we're sat here on a Sunday night discussing Jeff. Fucking Jeff the evil bot. Alright, so he's only been in and out. He did Time for the Murder from 2008 till this year. So he's gone up the charts in a little bit of thieving, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and all of a sudden, bang, sorry, go for the jackpot murder. Kirsty, no worries, take care. See you soon. Weird is better than average, definitely. Absolutely agree, 100%. There's no point in being average. There's no point in trying to hide your weirdness. Just go and enjoy the fact that you're different. We should all be different. It takes all sorts. Well, yeah, you don't want his Harry Monk on your cutlery, too, right? Yeah. Latest to our rabbit. The rabbit holier. Cutlery Mandy. Yeah, I had to read that twice myself, but yeah, we have to be careful of these things. Especially if you're eating porridge, you wouldn't even notice, would you? Apart from the fact that you'd be putting on weight. Don't need that extra protein. I haven't had any porridge for about a week now, I think. I don't know why. Apart from getting up early, getting up late, and then I toast a few times. Oh, my cereal bars. I should be sponsored, really, shouldn't I, by Graze? But don't forget, Charcoal Coffee Company, those Ethiopian geisha coffee beans are the business. Definitely try them. Link is in the description below. I see all the YouTubers do that. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if this works live, but I think it does work on normal videos. If you click the like, you should get a little bit of a present. Same with if you click on the subscribe when someone mentions you. You should end up getting a little bit of a present or a prize or something coming up. Yeah, always be more worried about the lads in the kitchen. If watching prison films has ever taught me anything, it's always be very, very wary of them. Yeah. Apart from porridge, you could always trust lukewarm, couldn't you? Lukewarm was sound. I love porridge. The programme, that is. I don't think there's many things better than the sitcom Porridge. And I know we mentioned Matthew Perry earlier on. Friends, that would just seeing me Twitter explode into people saying how great Friends is. Sorry, it's not. It hasn't aged well at all. Some of it is just downright disgusting by modern standards. But also, it was never. I mean, it was funny, but it was never as good as Frasier. It was never as good as Cheers. Nowhere near as good as MASH and things like that in terms of US sitcoms. But when you try and put it against some of the better UK sitcoms, it falls so far short. And again, my video where I talk about it, when you've got loads of 20-year-olds sat in a room writing one-liners for 30-year-olds to make 40-year-olds laugh, it doesn't work for me. When you've got one person writing an entire series or an entire show, Only Fools and Horses, every word was written by one person. So they all inhabited his world. It wasn't just 7 seconds one-liner, 7 seconds one-liner. Yeah, so I was disappointed with Twitter. People who I thought had a bit more taste or a bit more sense, saying Friends the greatest sitcom of all time. You know what? It's funny, but don't go that far, mate. It's certainly no Porridge. I love Porridge. I know I said that before, but I do. The writing is just spectacular. The Quiet Night In, where it's just them two in a cell. There's nothing. They're not outside. There's no other characters coming in and out. Just two people talking. That is an absolute work of genius. I know EB loved watching that episode. I don't think he was expecting something of that quality with just two characters talking. Amazing. That's up there. It's called a bottle episode, isn't it? Stuff like that, where it's self-contained within a bottle. Same as not Rising Damp, no. Steptoe and Son, The Longest Night, is it? Where Leonard Roster and his mate escape from the Scrubs and end up sort of staying the night. No, I didn't get the crunchy nut cornflakes. I forgot. I went earlier on because of all the arsing round with the clocks going back and what have you. And the Tesco closing at 4 o'clock. I turned the clock back and someone turned it forward and I was running around like a knobhead. I had to sprint round to Tesco to get me bits and pieces, and I managed to get in and out. I got some stuff, including more Lemsip. I can't stop sneezing. But yeah, I forgot me crunchy nut cornflakes, man. Terrible. Well, Danish jails have you locked up 23 hours a day. Prison's only about 12. It's ridiculous. I know we've had a few people over here who have been locked up for 23 hours a day. It doesn't do them any good whatsoever. It doesn't cure them. It doesn't rehabilitate them. You just become institutionalised even quicker. That I mean. Is that what happened with Matthew Perry? I know it said he drowned, didn't he? Is that what happened with him? Not good. And the other poor sod who died this weekend was the ice hockey player. If that pops up anywhere, do not watch the video. It didn't look good. It was horrible to see. Just such a freak incident, and then for that to have happened, considering all the things that could happen to you playing ice hockey, to die because of, oh man, horrible. It looked like it looked fake. It looked like it was CGI to begin with, but obviously it wasn't because it was live on in front of you. Just, oh man, absolutely horrible. At least you don't slop out now. Thankfully. It's a different world, wasn't it? I mean, a lot of there's again Channel 5 I think did documentaries about some of the older prisons in the UK. One of which they mentioned Strangeways, and they were talking about some of the things that you had to do while you were in there. This is only going back to the 90s and the early 2000s, and it sounded like it was from the 1800s. You know, there's rats running around. You had to slop out. There was paint peeling off the walls. Everyone was sick constantly. It's horrible. Yeah, don't watch it. It's not nice. Even worse, knowing that he got up on his feet and then still didn't make it. The amount of blood that was coming out. Oh man, no. Just swear it. Right, paramedics were called out for a heart attack, but they're saying he drowned. Yeah, so probably both. And if you have had problems with dependency for a long time, you're going to have done severe damage to your body, your heart especially. Yeah. Poor sod. And I mean, no one deserves that. Like I say, I'm not a huge fan of Friends, but he was, as this characters go, he played it very well. And yeah, no one deserves that. And it was too early. I mean, 54. Definitely too early. Most of your feeds are mostly knitting or crochet. Well, then you'd be alright then. There's not a huge crossover, is there, between knitting, crochet and ice hockey. So you might be alright. But cropped up on my Twitter feed, and before I had a chance to realise what it was, I seen it and thought, oh shite, no. I wish I hadn't have seen it. Yeah, Casper, again, 52. It's not even a start of an age, that really, is it? I mean, bloody hell, I'm 51 in April, so, I still feel like a kid. Probably we all do, don't we? I don't care how old you are, really. You probably still feel about 18 or 19 inside, even if the ravages of time have attacked you on the outside. I say that I feel about 18 or 19 inside. I do until I start trying to walk too far, or I'm having a fatigue day. Jeez, Friday was a proper fatigue day. Left here at 7:20, picked my sister up. It was still dark, and then by the time we started getting towards Liverpool, it was misty, so it looked atmospheric and weird. I had my occupational therapy in that afternoon. Loads of running round, driving, dropping off. So by the time we got to my normal time to put my feet up much to telly, I was just constantly falling asleep. Bizarre. And I know I need to try and find a better balance. I'm trying to get back to normal. I know I can't do it as quickly as I'm trying to. But also, I need to remember that even not doing stuff makes me tired. Just sitting in the car, listening to music. If I'm outside the hospital for 40 minutes, that's still tiring. I've got to do it all next week. So I think I'm going to try and get the balance a bit better this week coming. Hopefully I'll be alright. I had that one day of knowing exactly what it's like, getting up early and leaving early. Normally I'm awake at that point, about 7:30ish, but that's just to go to the bathroom and then back in bed and listen to music or listening to an audio book. Just that effort to getting out and what have you. I'm worrying about the car starting. He did Nick crochet knee warmers when he rode his motorcycle. We've seen some actually on Friday wearing leg warmers for the first time since the 80s. My sister went, is she wearing leg warmers? What are you on about? And yeah, there was a girl wearing leg warmers. Actually suited her, but looked weird. Barney, you turned 54 last week, mate. You feel like yourself, but your body tells you otherwise. It is, isn't it? It's just, no, I'm alright, No, I'm not alright. Yeah, it suddenly says no. But I played five-a-side every Thursday night for 30 years with John and his brother. John was 78, I think, John Mack, when he played his last game of five-a-side with us. And his brother Charlie, I think, he still plays Sunday League. 90 minutes every week. And he's in his mid-70s. Just genetic freaks, but it annoys me that I can't get back and play footy with them because, well, not only did my knee explode, but my brain did as well, which is not really good for keeping fit. And yes, a happy belated birthday for last week, Jack. '50s are the new 30s, I've decided. It's not even the 40s, it's the 30s, isn't it? I mean, I remember when we were kids, people who were in the 50s were ancient. And it's not like it's just because we were younger, it's because people back in the 70s and 80s, when they were 50 plus, they dressed like grandparents. I don't dress like my grandparents did back then. It's bizarre. We have Gen X, we do rock, we have moved forward. We look younger, we dress younger, we act younger than people back then did. It must be the post-war, the last of the baby boomers and the first of the Gen X coming through. That sort of swap over between the two is it's bizarre. But I remember, teachers in our school who were in the late 40s, and you'd swear they were grandparents, grey hair, cardigans. We don't look like that nowadays, man. Steve, you might feel like you're 72. You do an actual proper job, that's why. No wonder you feel knackered, mate. But we do. We Gen X rock. Right, you're going for a nana nap. Get your energy back. Energy back because you need to lift that mug of Horlicks later on. Yeah, I mean, I love that. You're only as old as you feel. That's the shittest thing anyone can ever say to you. Casper, your great grandmother was 99 when she became a great great grandmother, and she was buried on her 100th birthday. That's a hell of a thing, that, mate. That is a hell of a thing to do. Fair play. Must be good genes in that family. Definitely must be good genes there. I don't know if we've got any old people in our family, real old, whether there's a history of it. I know there's a history of good hair on the male side of things, so I don't have to worry about going bald. But, you know, it was 10:30 this time yesterday. So you've been in the future, now you're going back to the past. You're all over the place, Mandy. You put that, you're only as old as you feel. Yeah. Well, I woke up this morning and I felt like I was 108. Sneezing like a Colombian airport sniffer dog. I was that close. I thought, you know what, I'm going to pee myself, but I don't care. I'll get it over and done with. Sleep for a bit longer and then deal with the mess afterwards. I didn't, as it happens. I managed to get up and waddle all the way to the bathroom, where I proceeded to pee like a race horse. Oh, Casper, so half died before 3 and the rest lived to over 90. That's the proper spectrum, that, mate, isn't it? Have that hope that you're in the 90s. There must be a gene there that keeps the family going long. So you've made it past 3. Hopefully you go past 90. Yeah, it's a bit tiring today, isn't it? Doesn't normally bother me the times because, well, to be honest with you, I used to just get spectacularly drunk and wake up when I felt like the following day. And whatever time was on my phone, that was the time. Didn't really matter. But yeah, I've got stuff to do, haven't I? So I'm glad it changes on the Saturday, Sunday rather than on the Sunday, Monday. Man, your body clock messed you right up. You're running on 4 hours sleep at the moment. Be careful. Margaret Thatcher used to have 4 hours sleep every night, and she was an absolute psychopath. We don't need that. Daniel, you're not late, mate. We know this. There's no such thing as being late into the stream. I'm just pleased anyone turns up at all, to be honest with you. Don't think my insecurity would be able to stand if I was just sat here talking to myself again. Casper, yeah, I know that. You know what, it does happen, but you've got to think as well. The way things are now compared to the way they were even 10, 15, 20 years ago, and having people in your family that have lived a long, long life, you might be in a position where things will be all right. I mean, I was convinced for a while that I might, at some point, I was going to get cancer. It was a thing that was in my head all the time. But then I looked at my family members that did have it in the past. Have all smoked heavily, and I've never smoked in my life. They worked on the docks. They worked around lots of sort of factory smoke and things. Whereas I've been lucky enough to live in a time and an era where I haven't had to deal with that, and I've worked in an office. So I think I might be all right. Things are different nowadays, and medical techniques are so much better than they used to be. It's crazy. I mean, again, I was watching. I keep mentioning MASH quite a lot. I'm watching a MASH where Some fella turned up, an ex-boxer, in an episode of MASH, and he has a stroke while he's there. I go, right, we're just waiting for him to die because you don't get better from strokes. Well, you do. And I was in the ward for months, seeing people coming in and going out, and everyone got better. Not necessarily moonwalked out of there feeling great, but everyone improved. So things are getting much better. Yeah, don't listen to me. You are late. Our clocks went back. Does that mean that you're doubly late or half as late or early? I can't work it out. Is it dark there yet? Over in Maryland. It's weird, isn't it? How things get dark around the world. If you're on the equator, it's just 12 hours daylight, 12 hours nighttime every day. And yet here we are on the same line of latitude as Newfoundland. And during the summer, you look out the window, it's 10:30 at night and it's still daylight. It's ridiculous. Yeah, but Casper, they had much rougher lives. I know, me nan and granddad, they were only during the 70s when they died, so they done alright, but the lives that they had were just ridiculous. How tough they were to get to where the age that they got to in the first place. But yeah, just completely different. We are so lucky nowadays. I don't think we don't give it as much credence as we should do. How lucky we are. Mandy, you don't know how close you are to levelling up. I've got no idea. Botrix has a mind of its own, plus Jeff as being a knob. I don't know. Like I say, I've got the normal little league set up as well. I haven't got the one that you can see normally. The one that gives you your watch hours and what have you. This just gives level and points. So it could be now or it could be next month. So there is a variance at the equator. The nearest I've been is Cuba and Tenerife. I don't know which one's closer. I'm presuming Cuba. But I found that weird as well. That we were somewhere where it was just lovely and sunny and then dark within seconds. I know we had friends from America come over here who again couldn't believe how light it was so late during the day. It was like normally where they are, it was dark from 6 or something of an evening, every evening. And they come here and we sat outside in the beer garden of a pub. Again, about 11 o'clock at night, and the skies are still fairly light. It's bizarre. Yes, Mandy, it would help if you didn't keep losing signal. This is Jeff. Jeff being an absolute throbber. We don't need this. Him. He's the cause of all this hassle. Did he make Kippers go on a loop earlier on, or was that just a one-off? That just went once and one back? Cuba's lower than Tenerife sound. I thought it might have been. And the lowest I've been then is a town called Moron in Cuba. That'll be the furthest south I've ever been, because that was further south than the resort. We went for a walk on the beach where Hemingway was famous for going fishing, and then went for a beer in the hotel where he wrote a lot of his books, which is pretty groovy, I would say. I went to Moron where it was just... We drove past the local jail and they said that's the best hotel in town. And he wasn't even joking. It was like, a lot of people would rather be in jail because it's better living than being free. Man, you never saw Kippers at all. Oh, you missed out, man. You missed out. It was a quality item. Well, if you missed out on Kippers, then the least I can do is give you a Horace's haiku. It's Sunday evening. I didn't win the lotto. Set alarm. Bollocks. There you go. The H-man. I think we all feel like that on a Sunday, really, don't we? If the lottery comes through on a Friday or Saturday and you don't win it and you've got to set your alarm for work or whatever it is on the Monday morning, that's the worst day of the week. Although, I have got a theory. Obviously, I've always got a theory. To me, Monday, the steps, and once you get to the top of that on Monday, you go down the slide all the way to the weekend. So, it's just get Monday out the way and the rest of it is on the way down. You know. But it's getting that Monday sorted. Tuesday is Monday, Boxing Monday, because it's no better than any other day in the week. In fact, it's Monday is unashamedly Monday. Tuesday just is an absolute knobhead of a day. Wednesday, they call it Hump Day. It's there in the middle. Thursday is a very, very weird day. It's a long day for me because I end up driving here, there and everywhere. It used to be 5-a-side night and I have to pick my dad up from the pub, and then Friday's Friday. We all love Friday. And then you blink and it's Monday morning again, and you back up that same ladder, up the steps to the top of the slide and all the way down. So, is that a positive way of looking at it? It's just the one day. And then, it is high art from Horace. He's a high art kind of bear. You know, he's well read. He's very thought-provoking. He likes acid skiffle. He likes a bit of jazz. His bookshelves look absolutely amazing. No Dan Brown novels on his bookshelf. More like Tolstoy, things like that on there. He is that kind of bear. I don't know if these are part of my personalities, because I can be a very high-end kind of person in terms of poetry and music and literature. I don't know if it's the highbrow or I don't know what it is, but I do like a lot of things that other people necessarily like. But I like to push myself by. I like to push myself by reading things that are quite difficult. I get myself highly involved in poetry. Obviously, I've got me self-published little book on Amazon for the Kindle. I'm a dick, really, aren't I? That's what it is. Be straight. So Horace is that side of me. Kippers is the one that just wants to bounce off the walls, screaming and shouting all the time. Maybe Jeff. Is Jeff me? Am I Jeff? Is Jeff that evil part of me? I don't know. Maybe it's just, this is all me. I don't know, I can't work it out. Your music teacher was in a skiffle group. He played the tea chest and broom combo. That's, yeah, that'll be the kind of thing. That sounds like a very Northwest music teacher kind of thing to do. I can imagine that. Big storm coming on Thursday. Oof, marvellous. We haven't seen enough of them, have we? Does that mean it's going to rain and be windy, or is some kind of Scandinavian dude going to turn up? Big storm. I think we've got loads. Everyone's got that, everyone's got them little bits of themselves that they could possibly project onto something else or to other people. I just project mine onto teddy bears, obviously, because I am that warped. I'm not going to take the blame for it. It's not me, it's them. Honest. But yeah, I like writing me poetry. I haven't done that in ages, and I should do. I found it quite therapeutic, writing poetry. And just having my own little... when I'd done me little book, it's more like a pamphlet of poetry, to be honest. When I'd done that, I thought it'd be on Amazon, so that in years to come, if I'm not around, my daughter would be able to see something that was of me. And then, without thinking, she's now got video after video of me chatting shit at the camera, shut the podcast to listen to music and stuff. So I think we've had this conversation with Daniel before. We are lucky, given what we've got access to these days, that we can leave behind a lot of stuff. I was lucky that my dad, there's loads of video of my dad playing football. There's videos of him getting interviewed and things like that. There's doing podcasts nowadays with people. So there's loads of him around. But for someone who's not famous or not a footballer or celebrity in any way, shape or form, to be able to leave a load of stuff for my daughter in years to come. When you just feeling a bit sad one night when I'm gone, just put a video on and go, all right, I don't really miss him that much anyway, he was an absolute dickhead. But it's there, you can do that. Say to me grandkids, look, this is what your granddad used to do. Aren't you glad he's no longer around? And they'll all say yeah, and they'll have a smart water and look up at the shelf, and Horace and Kippers will be there, and there'll be blood pouring down the walls because Jeff will want to get involved, you know. But it's just nice that she'd be able to see stuff like that, so I'm quite pleased with that. They've named it Kieran, the storm that's coming. Is that they've named it Kieran, or have they named it Kieran, the storm that's coming? Louise, thank you very much. No problem. You've got to be up early in the morning, as most of us will have to do, no doubt, for a Daniel Blake moment. Oh, well, not good. Well, hope you sleep well and you manage to sort it all out tomorrow. TTFN, as Mandy says. Is that Tata for now, or is TTFN, is that the name of a village in Wales? Because it looks a bit, doesn't it? It looks a bit Welsh villagey. I was told LL Cool J was a Welsh mining village. I were obviously wrong, weren't I? What time are we on? Ooh. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit late now, isn't it? And I can see by the fact that I'm stumbling over my words even more than usual that I'm getting a bit tired. So I might have to start wrapping this up anyway. And just Kieran. Alright. No doubt we'll have a load more of these storms, won't we? Seems to be the way of the thing at the moment. If we do have a hurricane, I want one of them to be named Higgins, though. We can pretend it's named after the fella from Magnum PI, but just having Hurricane Higgins causing chaos in... If it hit Belfast, imagine that. Hurricane Higgins causes chaos in Belfast. It'd be like don't have the good old days. The bits you've heard are JCC, I must admit, one of my favourite things I've ever written is a poem about John Cooper Clarke, or written in his style. It's called Apoplectic Apathy, which is on my channel actually. Kippers is fronting it because he is the front man for the band. And it all started genuinely. I get the train from Southport into Liverpool to go to work, and there's a woman used to get on at Crosby. And I tweeted one day, there's a woman on my train who looks like John Cooper Clarke. And as I wrote it and tweeted it, I looked back and went, that sounds like the start of a poem. So on the way home, I wrote it. I wrote the entire poem in his style. I could hear his voice in my head as I was writing it. And it's still, to me, this day, it's one of my favourite things I've ever written, and I'm very proud of it. I do. I absolutely love John Cooper Clarke. The man's a genius. Evidently, Chicken Town. Alright, Dad. Alright, yes. How you diddling? I meant to text you earlier on, actually. I'm streaming tonight. Don't be asking for a lift while I'm on. But obviously, you've noticed. Just thinking. Jeff is evil. Jess. Could they be the same? One and the same? Could she be the evil malignant force that's causing all kinds of troubles? Are you causing kerfuffles on my stream, Jess? Are you infiltrating people's routers? Is it you? Do I need to sail you into slavery in Azerbaijan? You saw my TikTok about you. I can't remember doing a TikTok. Did I cut it from something else? He is a wordsmith of the highest form, and he does look like a crackhead, uh, which I think's part of his charm. And the fact that he still wears drain pipe jeans, fair play to him. About 185 and still managing to look like Ronnie Wood. Fair play, man. Fair play. All right, yeah. I see. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I forget about these things. I'm such a multimedia maven about your language. What language? Your disgusting, filthy language, no doubt. Yeah. I had to tell you, didn't I, on Thursday when I was in the car. Grenadier, don't swear. I'm going to go and pick you up on the way. Because that's what I am these days, aren't I? I'm a taxi man. I don't mind it though. It was a pain in the arse last week though, wasn't it? When I couldn't drive anywhere. Oh yeah, the words, the fact that you call me bro all the time, yeah, that was it. Bro. 36 hours when you thought, oh, it's trouble at mall. Set in Oldham. Yeah, man's a genius. I love the fact that he's a brilliant poet anyway, but he's also naturally funny. When you throw them two things together, what more can you ask for? I'd love to see if he'd ever what he thinks of me poem that I wrote in his style. Steve, I haven't seen Paul Smith. I've seen loads of him on YouTube and what have you. I know he drinks in some of the pubs I drink or used to drink in, so I should have seen him at some point. Never been to see him live though. I like his audience work that he does. Yeah, we've all heard about the guy from Friends, Jess. We were talking about him earlier on, funnily enough. 54, no age at all. Horrible. Yeah, the poem that Johnny Vegas read out on 8 out of 10 Cats was hauntingly poetic. It was. He was brilliant. You don't expect that from him, considering what kind of comedian he is. And he's a bit of a pisshead, but he's a very talented lad. Obviously a very good potter. That was what he used to do on part of his stand-up, was he'd make a pot out of clay while he was doing his stand-up. Bizarre. Yeah, John Cooper Clarke was in the dictionary corner that day. Brilliant. Yeah, yes, it is sad. It seems to be. Can't go a couple of days without someone dying. It's horrible. But again, I suppose we're in that era where we've all got multimedia. Your phone's there, and then within seconds, someone's gone. It's there. Everyone, the whole world knows about it. It is horrible. And of all the people in that program, he was the funny one. Yeah, 54, man. Horrible. But I suppose he was in that program for 10 years. So his family can look back and think he is going to be hugely loved. He'd be missed by a lot of people. And his work will be there. You'll be able to watch him on Netflix or wherever it is. Lots of people will be watching him now. So he didn't just turn up and disappear. Yes, it's a good one, innit, Jess? Repping the firm. The squad goals, man. You missed a lot of quality material tonight as well, by the way. Horace was top class. I think we can all agree with that. Horace was top class. Kippers is an angry young bear, and Jeff is an absolute thoroughbred gobshite. But he looked fantastic when he was in Sydney. That's the place, not a person. Yeah. I wasn't wearing this when I saw you earlier on, otherwise I'd have shown you. I stuck it on when I got out the shower earlier. Obviously I had a pre-gig shower to make sure I was spotlessly clean for everyone. He's very clean. And I've got my water. Yeah, Chandler was the best character, but had loads of personal troubles. Is that art imitating life or life imitating art, one or the other? But yeah, it wasn't Horace that you missed. It was Kippers that you missed. Kippers was earlier. Did you not? Oh, terrible. Was that because of technical issues that you missed that? I will have to clip him. I'll give Clip a Kip, Kip a Clip, Kip a Clip, and then stick him on a short. I think later. I might do the same with Horace. Jeff can piss off though. Jeff has been causing all the problems. It's either Jeff or Jess, one or the other, causing all the issues with the streams. Not just mine. He was affecting Harris Heller, and he's not going to stand for that. These hugely monetized dudes aren't going to put up with that whatsoever. Not like us. But yeah, I think it's time. I need to go and have another Lemsip. I've got a feeling I'm going to start sneezing again soon, and it's not good. Just on the bed the other day, go inside, it was like a fish, sneezing one way and then the other, it was awful. So, yeah, I'll say thank you very much, as always. Your company is cherished. Uh, right, so yeah, your internet noped you. That's Jeff. That's Jeff's fault. Cheers for turning up as always. The support is fantastic. I will try and set another one up for Tuesday probably. If Daniel's doing his Wednesdays, I'll do the Tuesdays instead. And hopefully this time, because I would have done one this week as well, but I was feeling like shit. But yeah, cheers, and I will see you soon. And in the meantime,